you have to advise yourself and you have to keep yourself going. No one is going to do it for you.
Hello, episode 37. Time flies, and it's a real pleasure to host Ruth today, talk about Bitmama, her personal journey as an entrepreneur, and about the future of crypto, particularly in Africa, both the opportunities and also some of the challenges and risks. Ruth, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about where you're zooming in from today.
Thank you for having me. So I'm zooming in from Lagos, Nigeria today, and the weather is hot. Yeah.
I'm today in a grey, overcast London, not far from Melike's at the CFTE headquarters in Canary Wharf. So we have also my partner in crime, or partner in podcast crime, Gaurav, who is, it looks like, in a coffee shop in Istanbul.
That's right. I am in a coffee shop in Istanbul.
Excellent, excellent. So Ruth, tell us a little bit about Bitmama. But before you do that, tell us a little bit about the journey that led you to found Bitmama. A bit about your background and how you became an entrepreneur and how you came to this, exciting but crazy situation trying to set up a crypto business in Africa.
Yeah. Okay. So hi everyone again, and my name is Ruth Iselema. I'm the CEO and founder of Bitmama. So for as long as I can remember, ever since I was little, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? Sometimes I used to tell myself I wanted to be like Donald Trump or someone that's going to be important tomorrow, right? So I always try to walk towards that direction to get myself there, right? And I had so much interest in the stock market, investing, because I saw my dad do it and I wanted to know more. I picked up a lot of interest. So that led me to start some little, would I say, entrepreneurial journey between myself and school. So even within school, I tried to do a few things, sold some notes or books to my classmates, made some profit from there. It was fun. Yeah. So, but however, yeah, coming from Nigeria, right? And the situation is that we usually have what we call strikes in schools here, right? And there was a particular incident. It wasn't a strike, but there is this fear that you would be in school. Maybe a course was supposed to take you 4 years, but you get to graduate in 7 years or even 10 years sometimes. So it's really, really bad. So, but however, there was a particular incident that got my dad to pull me out of school here in Nigeria because, yeah, it was an ugly incident and some students lost their lives. So he said, no, I don't want you schooling where I'm not sure or certain of what happens tomorrow. So he pulled me into school in Ghana. So that was how I went to school in Ghana instead of schooling in Nigeria. So, but however, while that journey took place, that was when I found Bitcoin and the whole blockchain. So it got me interested too because I think I've mentioned this before. Like it was like a low barrier to entry. I could buy my Bitcoin without a stockbroker or anybody serving as the middleman. So it was very, very interesting to me. So at the point when my parents sent me money in Ghana, just between Nigeria and Ghana, so like you pass two other smaller countries from Nigeria to get to Ghana, which is Benin and Togo. So, but sending money in between these countries in itself is like a huge pain already, right? And we have like a huge trader migration between the two countries. So when they send me the money to the bank, I have to go all the way to the bank from school, and the bank gets take almost 5% of the money, and I don't see what I'm supposed to do with that, right? And as a student, you're already saying, oh my God, when my dad sends me this money, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this and that. But when you get the money is short, and you're asking yourself, what do I do in this situation? So then I got to realize that I could purchase Bitcoin over in Nigeria through my bank account. I don't need to be there. We could do this through P2P transfers. And when I get that Bitcoin, I can sell it to someone in Ghana. Now I'll receive the corresponding currency. So for me, that was like the first eye opener of everything that happened to me. Yeah.
Interesting. So your encounter with Bitcoin and the crypto world in general was a very specific pain point being solved, which was cross-border money transfers, remittances in the complicated and broken payment system that is African cross-border payments. It wasn't, some people sitting in San Francisco or New York or London have their kind of eureka moment because they read a white paper or because they know a friend who made a lot of money trading it and speculating on it. It wasn't an intellectual white paper journey. It wasn't I've got enough money, I'm going to go and buy a fast car. It was I've got a very specific pain point to solve.
Yeah. That was it. That was like a very like specific use case. And the first question that came to my mind was, why is everyone not doing this, right? And then you get to realize that everyone goes to school, but everyone is not knowledgeable, right? So even those that go to school still, it took them a hard time to believe that, look, this thing is real, or you could do this. And I'm like, well, what do you think is real? I do this, and this is what gets me going. So, but at that point, I hadn't really formed the idea of creating Bitmama yet. So like I said, this continued going on, and they say when adoption is coming up, that most it's the will I say it's the bad guys that pick up the adoption first. So people start using this to scam people here and there and everything. So, but then I was like, oh no, I'm here, I'm legit, and kind of I had a couple of people and some community that trusted me and trusted that when I tell them this is what happens with this is what happens. So basically, I had to ask myself, okay, then back then we had Luno in market. I think Luno was the only exchange, and Luno was just starting. So I think from South Africa into Nigeria. And I asked myself, okay, why don't I put something together with my friends? So then I think I was still a little bit younger. I got about 8 of my friends together in a Telegram group, and I said, hey, let's create an exchange that is going to compete with Luno and maybe local Bitcoin and the rest, and people know we are legit and they are not going to fall into scams. However, along the journey, definitely we had clash of opinions. We're 8 people, everyone thought differently. And when you come up with a name, someone will ask, oh, why is my name not there? And why is this person's name there? So, but many people did not understand that it's not even about the name being there, but it's about getting something started first and creating value. You could always change the name, but it was weird that that was what was important for people at first. So after a while, I tried to do things myself, but however, that group still folded, and that was when I said, okay, no, I'm going to just do this myself, no matter the cost. And that was how Bitmama was actually born.
So Ruth, which year are we talking about? So when was Bitmama founded? And talk a little bit about how Bitmama then evolves, like setting up a company. You were a student or had just been a student. What was that journey like? I mean, how much experience? You said you were always interested in entrepreneurship and investing, and what was that journey like building a company? Who helped you? Who taught you? Was it friends?
Exactly.
Patrons, your father, mother, family? What was?
Yeah. So I've been, like I said, I've been learning from quite a lot of people too. Then Also following up lots of stories from other people too that were successful, always following up some entrepreneurial journeys from China, or when they bring them up on CNN. I just tried my best to look for a couple of people that I could always like hedge my interest in terms of business. So like when I had the idea, the first website we built for Bitmama was a WordPress website. And it was funny then. I don't even like it's no longer on the website. It's no longer on the web, but like I'm still going to maybe bring it up. It was a WordPress website and it was all pink, right? And it was funny. So what we did then was we just let people make an order. Like you just make an order. How much do you want to buy? Then how much do you want to sell? And somebody will attend to you quickly. So like that was the first step. But after a while, we started thinking, okay, should we develop this ourselves? So then I had someone to be CTO because early on I realized that, oh, Ruth, there's no way you're going to do this on your own, right? So I had a CTO, but like I said, I was a bit younger too. So my CTO was even younger and didn't understand lots of business principles. So it's a funny story. One day he walked up to me and was like, hey, I want to sell all my equity and give me my money. And I was shocked. I was like, what's happening here? We haven't even built the company. How come you want all your equity and money? We've not even gone anywhere. So it was like a funny experience for me. But then I understood that, no, you don't understand what's going on here. So let's just forget this. And I have to move on myself. So by long journey, I also still met a couple of great people along the way, people that got to believe in me. At first, it was a bit tough because like being a woman too in the space, a couple of people didn't really believe or think that I knew what I was talking about. So they thought I was just trying to maybe do something like women in tech kind of thing and look for some grants and get. I said, no, this is like something that is passionate to me and I'm going to solve like. And even my drive with being an entrepreneur, I knew if I wasn't doing Bitmama, I knew I would have been doing something else. But but definitely I knew I would be in business, right? So yeah, that was how it started. I got to learn how to register a company. And yeah, as time went on too, I learned from a couple other founders, asked questions. Then I think 2018 or so, yes, CZ from Binance. Yeah, he went to Uganda. Yeah, so I kind of also went with a friend of mine and I said, hey, let's go and see what's happening in Uganda with the whole Bitcoin space. And we went there. And when we saw CZ and we saw a couple more entrepreneurs and everything, then like I already had some kind of experience of what was happening in the whole crypto space in Africa, at least at that point in time, because when it started out, like I said, many people were skeptical and didn't know how to get on board the whole blockchain system or the whole blockchain space, which has evolved to Web3 now. So what we do back then is we hold meetups and we invite lots of people from meetups. So we start seeing people travel from very far locations just to come for that meetup, just to understand what's going on. How can I use this? How can I grow with this? So that was like one of the first steps that helped with really building good communities in this space. Yeah.
Ruth, can I ask a nosy question? You don't have to
Okay.
answer this. You don't. When you started, what was the
Yeah.
ages of the founding team?
I guess let me go back. Let me go back in time. I don't think I need to answer this. But we're very young. We're very
How many
young.
founders did you have? How many co-founders were you?
No, not co-founders. So like I said, then it wasn't like a co-founder thing. It was like I hired the guy and I was just
Okay.
looking for someone to
Oh,
build the
okay. So
website.
no co.
Yeah. So
You were the
yeah,
boss
and I
lady.
was like, I would also reward you with equity, but we
Yeah.
hadn't signed anything yet. So that was why it was shocking to me that like a few weeks later he came and was like, oh, I need all my equity and I need all my
Right.
money. I'm like, what's going on here? So, but it's so good. It's
So
so good. So
instead of,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know, at an age when people were like probably partying or having fun, you were building a crypto business. Impressive stuff.
Oh, thank you, thank you,
So
thank
that's how it
you.
started.
Yeah,
Let's
that
talk
was how
about
it
how it's
started.
going.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's
So
fast forward to today. How big is Bitmama? How many users do you have? What are your core products? Give us the TLDR. How's it going?
okay. So I want to go to when we did an accelerator and we got to this point, but it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So right now we have evolved. I would say we've evolved massively, like massive. There's massive change and there's going to be some more changes, right? So right now we're about hitting 100,000 users. We have
How
two
many, Ruth?
products.
How many?
100,000.
100,000
100,000.
users.
Yeah. We have two products and apart from the normal Bitmama product, it was mostly buying and selling as yeah, some people thought it was speculation, but then we came up with a product called Changer where we realized that like I said, the major problem is that a couple of people still don't know what the blockchain is. But however, they have the same problems, right? They have the same problem. So I mentioned, okay, let me mention that. So we have like a dollar shortage problem, mainly in Nigeria, yeah, and some other African countries are having that problem too because of rising debt, oil prices, and devaluation happening to the currency, right? So right now we can't spend $20, more than $20 on our bank card, right? So I can't buy anything from Amazon. I can't pay for my Netflix. I can't pay for anything at all. So, but however, we have access to USDT. We have access to USDC, which means these are dollar-backed stable coins. So what we decided to do is to use that as a utility to get people the crypto cards, which we have, that enable them to now purchase things online, purchase yeah, things from Alibaba, AliExpress, do their businesses, etc. Right. So that's what we have now. But like I said, everybody has this problem. But less than 10% of the solution know what blockchain is, or even know what a Bitcoin address is, or a USDC address. So that was why we had to build Changer to max the complexity of the blockchain for everyday users, or like you would say, the layman, so that they don't have that complexity. They just perform their transactions like a normal fintech app, but their problem is still being solved.
So you have two products. One is a like a crypto trading or a money movement
Yeah.
product, and then one is a spending product, a debit card.
So we define Bitmama now like an on ramp and off ramp for people. Yeah. While the changer would describe it as a crypto mullet. So it's like fintech in front, DeFi at the back.
Got it. Got it. I want to bring
Yeah.
my friend Gaurav into the conversation to pick up and dig into the business a bit more.
Thanks so much. Can everyone hear me clearly? I think that's the first thing I want to establish. Yeah. Ruth, I mean, inspiring story. Seriously. I mean, hats off to you. Really, I tip my hat to you. What a wonderful story it is. I'm so glad I'm learning about your story. And and I'm looking forward to telling this part, hopefully using you a bit more about your business, right? And
Yeah.
this is where I really want to get into it. I want to get into two things with you. I want to understand what your product started with as Bitmama. What were the products you were offering to, and who they were? And the perspective I want to understand is your business a B2B business? Are you servicing merchants to accept payments in crypto because there's no access for them to do it in their e-com channels because of these barriers? or is it a
Mm-hmm.
B2B to C ecosystem, which is an exchange for consumers and businesses to do it? So
Yeah.
where are you right now with the business? And tell us about the geographies you're located in as well. And so feel free to tell that story a bit more.
Okay. So thanks for that. Um, so right where we started from, like I said, were WordPress websites. Then we went to a P2P platform. Then from a P2P platform, we realized that that's not what will keep us in the market or make us competitive enough. We went to full on-ramping and off-ramping. Then we came into use cases. Now we had to start doing applications of the blockchain and real life use cases for our products. That's where we are now. Currently, we are B2C mostly for both Bitmama and Changera. But however, we just did a beta version for businesses, and we're trying to also open APIs for businesses. So we don't do the whole merchant acceptance for crypto right now. I guess that's another person's business or business model. But what we do for businesses, like I said, is there's this problem of imports and exports. So it means if I can only spend $20 on my card, I cannot say, okay, just like you're in Turkey now, and I want to import your jacket. I like your jacket. And I say, okay, I want to import your jacket to Nigeria and sell it here in Nigeria for $500. I cannot do that right now. So what basically happens for that business is we enable them to USDT or USDC to USD dollar settlements on the back end to be able to pay their suppliers wherever they are. I don't know if you get that. So, and also be able to receive money too globally. Yeah. So kind of in a way, it's
That
going
makes
to, yeah, look like international banking going forward. Yeah.
So you've got a B2C product, which is how you started, and now you're working towards the B2B on the supply chain payment side to
Yeah.
enable merchants to transfer money effectively, which enables them to make these purchases and effectively put forward their growth in the ecosystem. Looking
Yes.
at
Yes.
that, because you're servicing the B2C market and you're servicing the B2B market, you must have a lot of exposure to regulation as well from that point of
Yes.
view. Can you tell us about how you're dealing with regulation and what is the regulation landscape looking like for you to move quickly or slowly in your geography currently? And are you only in one geography, just to set the stage for that at the moment?
Okay. Yeah. So currently in terms of regulation, like if you check the news, the Nigerian startup bill was just like signed yesterday, and we believe, or we're part of also a lobby group that the SEC is really working hard to see how they regulate crypto in the space. But if you check, most African countries are like illegal. They have an illegal stance on cryptocurrency along the market, except South Africa that just released something today about licensing. So hopefully we're also going to apply for that, right? For South Africa. But in the case of the US and any other place we're going to, yeah, it's just that I don't want to mention it yet, but like we're trying to get on our seed round to be able to go into those markets, right? And to be able to also move fast on the regulatory front. So definitely we're not going to move into those markets without regulation. So we're already like, would I say, making some moves to be able to get into those markets and also be licensed to operate in those markets. So this way, it's now easier for businesses. So whether you're in Nigeria or South Africa or US or Europe or UK, you can still be able to use that infrastructure, which we are now layering out.
Thanks for that. And
Yeah.
just from your users, when you were talking to Ronit, you said that you had 100,000 users. I'm assuming those are all your B2C consumers that are sort of your customers at the moment.
No, sorry, I didn't get that.
Your customers at the moment, you have 100,000 users of your platform, right? But these are
Yeah.
all consumers. These are all individuals at the moment with
Yes,
wallets who are
yes,
buying and trade. You haven't, so you
yes.
haven't really exploded into that space for businesses just yet. But
No, I'm
your
saying we just
jog,
launched our beta platform
yep,
for businesses. Yeah, so
got it.
yeah,
So
we should
where's
be
the
there by next
geography for
month.
your, yeah, so where,
Okay.
how many geographies are you covering today?
Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, right now,
And
as at today.
and your and how do you operate in these countries from a regulation point of view?
Okay, so from regulatory point of view, we operate mostly P2P. So it means we don't collect or we don't hold money. We just perform P2P transactions with our users in this market. Yeah. So, but immediately there's a regulatory like clearance on each of the spaces, we're going to be there first because like we're putting our eyes out for it.
And so are you using other infrastructure partners globally or locally to assist you to hold those accounts or
Yes.
money in the
So
background?
Yes, yes, that's what we are. And those people are already licensed. So it's mostly like well, I say strategy most startups we use because like at first when you start, you don't have licensing, you don't have certain structures, right? So we get to leverage on partners that have that first, then before we now get ours at the end of the day.
So, one of the things that I saw in the space from a government reaction or a regulator reaction or even a treasurer reaction from some of these ecosystems on the continent of Africa, and obviously no country is alike. They all have their uniqueness and their own traits and their own currency fluctuations. One of the things I saw was currency leaving ecosystems, dollars, to purchase crypto into other ecosystems where wallets were sitting into bank accounts in London or in different countries, right? Had an
Mhm.
impact on the ecosystem that they shut down transfers happening. I'm just
Mm.
curious, the movement of money that you're facilitating through a different channel, which is crypto, for these economies to essentially continue performing services, right? You're not doing anything different. You're actually enabling them to get through their current barriers because people want to genuinely trade or interact with these currencies. Are those currencies being held in accounts in those geographies, or is it through vehicles again because they're more crypto friendly in EU that accounts have to be established there, whether they're businesses or consumers? I'm curious because I feel like from my point of view where I'm sitting, and you can tell me because I'm an outsider to your ecosystem, I feel like if the monies were being held within the frameworks of those geographies, regulators might be more quick to sort of help move them out of a green zone or a black zone of regulation and frameworks than they would if perhaps funds were sitting from a
Okay. 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 Sorry. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hey, Ruth.
Hello.
Can you hear me,
Yeah.
Ruth?
Yeah.
I think we might have lost Gaurav.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, let me just carry on his train of thought. I guess he's trying to dig into basically some of the regulatory issues you face because in countries like Nigeria and others, including the US, there is no clear regulatory framework, right? How do you operate in that? I think is where he's getting at.
Okay. No. So like I said, first of all, we operate in a P2P manner, right? But
Mm,
the nature of cryptocurrencies or the whole blockchain idea in the first place is for it to be borderless and to be able to enable people to perform transactions in real time, right?
mm,
So if we're to operate in the way he suggested or was trying to suggest, where we keep funds in these various locations at the end of the day, right? What happens is now you have to raise debt.
mm.
There's no difference between us and a MoneyGram. The only difference would be we're performing that over the blockchain, right? Or it would be like a private permission blockchain. It
Mm.
won't be on a public blockchain. And we will have to keep funds in different locations, managing different nodes, which is now becoming operation heavy, right? So the idea for us in the first place is to be able to um, be borderless and be light, be lean. And also, when we perform these transactions, one thing to notice, we definitely follow the whole travel rule. We make sure we don't go or exceed a certain amount. We are very, very strong on KYC and AML. So we make sure all that is checked before anybody even tries to perform a transaction.
Now, looking ahead, maybe to 3 or 4 years out, say it's 2025, how do you see Bitmama looking? I mean, is it in lots of different countries? Are the products and services very wide? You have two main products now, but what does Bitmama 2025 look like?
Yeah, yeah, just like you said, lots of countries. 2025 is too far. I'll say 2023. Yeah,
2023. Let's do 2023.
yeah,
What does it look like?
2023, lots of countries. Maybe 2024, expanded product vision. And now, since we're adding the business suite to it, I'm sure
Mm,
somebody will say, hey, why don't you guys also do this or do that or do this? But I always tell people too that we can't build everything. So
mm,
there's even a platform right now that is trying to build a credit solution, and they're like, they can why don't you build a credit solution? It will help this, it will help people using crypto. And I'm like, we can't build
mm.
everything. We have APIs, come take them and build on top of them. But we will manage those APIs for you. That's what we can do. But our own vision and direction is to make sure we have plugged everywhere that we need to plug in the ecosystem to get that infrastructure down first. Once we get that down, then anybody can build anything. So you could even build like a crypto payroll solution for people in Africa or people around the world, right? Or you could build something in the insurance space with our APIs by then. Or you could build something that is like an international healthcare package, but now you're not receiving fiat and you don't have to deal with different currencies. You're just dealing with USDC or
Mm.
USDT, and you're sure you could make that insurance global from day one. So that's what we're looking at mostly.
And one last question for me, Ruth. What advice, if any, would you have for aspiring entrepreneurs in Nigeria or Africa? What would you
uh,
tell them? Do it, don't do it. But if you do it, this is what you.
well, if you have the persistence and you know you can do it, then do it. Yeah, that's what I would say. If you can't do it, then get behind someone that can do it. Yeah.
So basically you need to be bloody minded, right? To get shit done.
Not really bloody, I'll say, but like have that will. Sometimes no one is going to
Determination.
advise you. Yes, you have to advise yourself and you have to keep yourself going. No one is going to do it for you. Yeah. Sometimes there will be someone, but
Yeah.
just let's assume no one was there.
Yeah. So an independent
Okay.
self-starter.
Yeah, yeah,
Independent
yeah. No,
self-starter.
well, you
With
may not
determination.
start.
With grit.
Yes, you may, yes, exactly. The great,
Grit.
yes, that's the word. Yeah, you may not start independently at first,
Sure.
but for you to keep going, you have to always oil the engine, basically. So
So you have to be a gritty. determined, keep going kind of person.
Yeah, because if you see, we've evolved, and I definitely know that even as we grow, we will evolve.
Mm,
And like we've been talking about different. Well, when we started, I was all about crypto is borderless, crypto is this, crypto is that. We don't need any regulation, we don't need this.
mm,
But now this is me. I'm trying to wrap my head around next year how I'm going to get the compliance team. But when I started, I never thought that would happen in my life, right? Because I was like, oh, when you use crypto, you don't need this, you don't need that, you don't need the government, all that, right? So, but now I have to get the compliance team. I have to get someone to manage AML and everything. So, yeah, we just keep evolving.
keep evolving. Good luck with everything. And thank you so much for joining us today, Ruth.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Ruth.
Okay, okay, all right. I thought you still had a question for me.
Oh, I have lots of questions for you. I don't know if we have time though. I think Ronit,
No,
we're out.
we're out
So
of
I'm
time,
gonna
my
have to
friend
catch you
Gaurav.
later.
Okay.
This is what
All
happens when you
right,
sit in a coffee shop in Istanbul. What can I say?
Yeah,
Signal,
we could always
signal.
connect
Interruption
sometime.
issues, unfortunately. Well, I hope you got
Yeah,
my question at least before it cut out.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We did. But Ruth, it's been a pleasure to host you. Look forward to tracking
Uh,
your progress. Good luck with the next funding round.
Thank you,
Um,
Ronit. Thank you.
thank you.
All
Thanks so
Bye.
right.
much, Ruth.
Bye.